Good morning and welcome to Fast Horses Today for Saturday. Today is June 28th, and we got a kind of a rare thing going on here at Los Alamitos. We've got a Pick 5 carryover. You don't really see Pick 5 carryovers all too often. I mean, I can't remember the last time I saw one in California, but they have it in their early Pick 5. It is $114,000, which is a pretty nice pool there. And, I expect there to be a lot more put in, so I think it's really worth playing because you've got that $114,000 bonus. I liken it to, at the end of a meet when they've got the mandatory payoff. I mean, yeah, this is not a mandatory payoff, but in a Pick 5, it's pretty expected that somebody will hit it. So, got a nice bonus to play into. I think the pool will be big. It seems like a tough sequence of races, and I'm going to jump in. So, let's get started here at Los Alamitos. We're going to go, it's the first race, starts off that Pick 5. It starts out at 1 o'clock Pacific time, so 3 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone. And the first race is a 6.5 furlong dirt race. It's for 12,500 claimers. Now, I studied this first race pretty well, and to me, it just looks like a real toss-up. I feel like, the short price horses in the program have as much of a chance as the long shot. So, I'm going to end up putting all. There's 7 horses in this race. I'm going to put all because I feel like all 7 have a chance to win equally as much as they have a chance to lose. So, I was going to kind of pick and choose a few, but, I'm just going to put all and just advance to the next leg there in the Pick 5. And let's just hope that we get a price, which I feel like there are a couple prices that could run today in that first race. I think the one horse, Last Call London, has a good chance, 12-1 in the program. Carol's Comic certainly has a chance at 6-1. Took Charge, 10-1. That horse definitely has a chance. His best races have come at Los Alamitos in the daytime. So, that's why I feel like this is a toss-up of a race. And then you've got some old-timers. You've got the 9-year-old Wind Ribbon who, I'm going to guess is probably finishing up his career at the end of the year. I don't think that they run 10-year-olds in Southern California. So, a little age discrimination there. But, we'll see. But anyway, I'm going to put all in the first race. That's 7 horses there in the first race. So let's move over to the second race of the day. Second race of the day is a condition 8,000 claimer. It is 5 furlongs on the dirt. And, it's a condition is non-winner of 2 lifetimes. So it's 8,000. These are your bottom rung horses. So, these are horses that are just, got to try to find them on the right day. So the second race here, 5 furlongs, short race here. So certainly it does give a chance to the Los Al nighttime horses. They're running 1,000 yards, which that's just over 4.5 furlongs. So that extra distance really doesn't seem to matter. We've seen those nighttime horses come and win. So, got the one horse here, Never Not Once. Antonio Flores, trainer. Now, Flores is definitely a guy who's, been around the horse business. It seems like, most of his success has been in the quarter horse racing. But, Los Al is home to him. So, we've seen these guys win in these, thoroughbred daytime races there at Los Al. So, Never Not Once. Ramirez riding the horse. Ramirez has had, some wins. And I think Ramirez is one of the reasons they had that Pick 6 carryover yesterday. He brought in a long shot. So this horse is 3-1. Definitely has a lot of speed. Comes off a maiden win in a 1,000-yard event. So we're going to see. The one hole is kind of hit or miss at Los Al. So we'll see. This horse does have speed, and I think could be good enough to win this race here. So we've got the one horse, Never Not Once. Then going to move over to the 6 horse, who was Rhythm Girl for Bill McLean and Kazushi Kimura. Now this horse drops down into the 8,000 level, and she had been running with Better over at Santa Anita, just a little bit better. But in watching her film, I just like the way that she's been. I like the way she's been running there. I mean, I just feel like this dip in class should make her much faster. And Kimura taking over, I think should really improve this horse. And, she's 5-2, so certainly no secret here. Bill McLean, is his barn has been doing much better over the last month or so, or last couple months, actually, towards the end of the Santa Anita meeting. And Rhythm Girl certainly fits here, so we'll put her in. So we've got the 1 and the 6 in the second race. All right, now let's go to the third race of the day. Third race of the day is a mile, and it's, another condition claimer. This is a 62.50 claimer, non-winners of 2 in a lifetime. So again, these are your bottom rung. Gives horses from the north a chance to win, and also horses that have been running at Los Al at nighttime. So, to me, this race, there's a single here, and I think that this horse, just towers over these guys in this race, and that would be the 2-horse Mongolian Altai. Librato Baraccio gets this horse now. This horse came from the Mongolian stable, so Baraccio takes over here. I don't know if Inesh Gambat is not training anymore, or if they're just not in the business anymore. I'm not too sure, but Baraccio takes over here. And Mongolian Altai is certainly no stranger to Southern California. This horse has been running in the circuit for the last couple years. And, as one thing I definitely know about the Mongolian stables and their horses, they like to run long races. It seems like, they always seem to be distance horses, and, they win every so often here and there, but it seems to always be like longer races that their Mongolian stables horses do win. So Baraccio takes over, certainly a capable trainer, certainly capable first time. This horse is 6-5. This horse's dirt races just look to be better than this field. This is just a very lightly talented field here. And some of the races that Mongolian Altai has run, would just really kind of tower over these guys. So 6-5, I think he's a worthy single here in the third race. All right, now let's move over to the fourth race of the day. Fourth race it's a mile on the dirt, and it's made in 12-5 claimers. And these are fillies and mares, 3 and up. And in this fourth race, I put 3 horses in. I feel like one of these 3 will advance the ticket. I've got the 4-horse, who is Jafar's Girl. This is for Craig Delassie. Ayuso takes the call, which, certainly always a good thing with Ayuso on a horse. Ayuso's really done a nice job here this year in Southern California. Now, Jafar's Girl, been running in $20,000 maiden claimers and dips down to 12-5. It's a bit of a drop. I mean, the 20,000 maiden claiming ranks in Southern California and the big tracks are the bottom. So, at Los Al, they do dip them below that. So this horse has run a mile twice. She's shown speed. And, she had the apprentice Bautista. Bautista's been a nice jock there as well. So she's shown speed, 5-1 today. I think that speed could be dangerous in a race that, you've got another lightly talented bunch, and, a horse can get out and go. And certainly Ayuso's a guy who knows how to win races. So Jafar's Girl, I think, is dangerous just because of the speed factor. She's shown it before. And, she's run some decent races in her last couple. So maybe the little dip in class will make her faster. At 5-1, we'll put Jafar's Girl in here. I'm going to put the 5, who's Lady Lollipop, Michael McCarthy, Kyle Frey. Now, this horse takes the big plunge into 12-5 claimers. And then this is just a scenario where the 12-5 level should be, this horse should be good enough for that. She's running better. Her last race she ran was a $50,000 maiden claiming race on the turf, and I know that's the lowest there on the turf. But, she ran well enough where this dip in class should certainly make her fast enough. She's 8-5. Kyle Frey, again, is on the horse. So certainly she does fit here. And then finally, I am going to put the 7-horse, who's Oscar Knight, for Hector Palma. Hector Palma puts the apprentice Arantes on the horse. Now, we're going to see if Arantes is riding. I know that he had a mishap yesterday and ended up getting tossed off a horse in the stretch. So we'll see if he's okay. And he's riding today. You'll get the word there. But Arantes on the horse. If not, they'll figure out another rider. Oscar Knight has run twice, 2 sprints, 1 at Santa Anita, and then 1 over at Los Al, just about a week or so ago. So they're bringing Oscar Knight back in a quick turnaround. Hector Palma, as crafty as they get there. So if Hector Palma wants to turn the horse around in a week, certainly he knows something there. This horse is 7-2. Again, this horse has run 2 sprints in this 12-5 level, run just even races. So maybe the 2 turns could help this horse. So we'll see. So we'll put the 4, 5, and 7 here in the 4th race. All right, now let's go over to the 5th race of the day. 5th race of the day, we'll cap off your late pick 5. And this is a 5-furlong sprint on the dirt. These are maiden special weight, California bred. These are 2-year-olds. These are babies, fillies and mares. I feel it's very open. I think that the maiden special ranks, the Calbred ranks anyway, at Los Al, I think these are connections that are trying to get their horse in to break a maiden and maybe not have to face the little bit of tougher horses they might face at Del Mar in those maiden special ranks. And they also don't want to put the horse in the claiming yet. So to me, those 2 factors make it pretty open. So you don't really know, are these classy individuals or are these, your future claimers? So be that as it may, I'm going to put 6 horses in this race. I feel like, I'd like to, have that live ticket going in, have 6 horses in coverage, and, maybe get some price here to cash a nice ticket. So I am going to put the 2, who is Too Sassy, for Sam Scolameri. Diego Herrera takes the call. There's a first starter by Ohm. We've seen some nice horses by Ohm. Definitely, a nice California sire there. And, horse had some nice workouts over at San Luis Rey. 10-1, we'll see. Maybe this horse gets out and goes. I'm going to put the 3, who is Jasmina. Jasmina for Simon Callahan. And Redham Racing, not a big Callahan fan, as we've talked about many times, but they do give him nice horses. Certainly Redham has given him nice horses over the many years. This horse has had the benefit of one start on the grass. That was in an open company race. She certainly wasn't going to be good enough for that bunch there. That race won by LaVille Lumiere, who was a really nice winner there, as well as, the horses that finished just in behind her seemed to run nicely too. This horse got off to a slow start, showed some late interest. So, maybe the Dip and Company here will make her faster. We'll put her in at 2-1. Going to put the 5, who is Slash Alley. Slash Alley, trained by Hernandez and ridden by Rojas Fernandez. This horse is 20-1 in the program. Here's why I like this horse. You look at the connections. Heinz Steinman, breeder and the owner. How many decades have we seen Heinz Steinman winning California maiden special weights at 2-year-olds? I mean, you remember seemed like an eternity, Swiss Yodelers were winning, all across the board for Heinz Steinman. So, good to see Heinz Steinman still in the game. Unique situation here. This horse is a Pennsylvania bred, but the breeding's California, with being by Empire Way. So, the way they did their full papers, this horse does qualify. So this Pennsylvania bred does qualify here. I think this horse is dangerous here at 20-1. Some nice works over at Los Al. We'll see. So we'll put Slash Alley in here. We'll put the 6 horse Keep the Pavels for Edward Freeman and Giovanni Franco. Now, this horse also for Redham Racing. We've seen Redham Racing does a lot of work with the California bred, state bred program, winning races, certainly winning 2-year-old races. Edward Freeman, can definitely pop as well. Horse has had some decent works. And again, I don't feel like this is a big, hardy bunch and a very talented bunch. So we'll see. I think a long shot could win here. So we'll put the 6, Keep the Pavels. We'll put the 7, who is the favorite, Final Table Lady, for George Parabon and Tiago Pereira. Now, this horse did finish 3rd in her lone start over at Santa Anita. She was bet down that day. She was about 5-2 that day. Ended up going for the lead and, giving it up. We'll see. It's one of those where, I understand why this horse will get bet, but I also will really understand why this horse would lose again. In a slow race, she ended up losing ground. So, we'll see. But we'll put her in there. Don't want to get knocked out by the favorite. And then I will put the 8 horse, who is Risky Pleasure, for Craig Lewis and Kazushi Kimura. Now, Craig Lewis, kind of iffy on the first starter thing here. But I think that outside post, Kimura riding the horse certainly is a good thing. This horse is 6-1. We'll put Risky Pleasure in, to cap off this pick 5. So in the last leg, we've got the 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, now let's recap the day and recap the tickets. Okay, so for Saturday, June 28th, we've got that unique situation of a pick 5 carryover over at Los Al, and that starts in the first race. That's their pick 5, 114,000. So we've got a ticket here to play. And that first leg, we're going to go with all. With the 1-6. With the 2. With the 4-5-7. With the 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now today, that ticket is a $126 play in the pick 5. A little bit larger than usual, but reason I'm going a little larger ticket is that carryover 114,000. We might have a couple races where there's some chaos. And if that happens, it'll pay very nicely. So I feel it's worth it to play. Also, I haven't been playing too much since Los Al opened, so worth a shot here. If you decide to play as is, I wish you the best of luck. If you want to add or subtract in it, do so. Or, if you want to, use some of these picks to make your own ticket, I wish you the best of luck. Let's wish the folks over at Los Alamitos a very safe day of racing. And let's wish ourselves some good trips, because trips really do make a difference at Los Al. We'll maybe get some good results. So I thank you so much for watching Fast Horses today for Saturday, June 28th. And do me a favor, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so. It doesn't cost anything. It just delivers the content to you free. And thanks to all that have subscribed. I really appreciate you. And, you could like, dislike, make comments. I promise to respond to everything. And let's have a great day at Los Alamitos in Cyprus.